So the Golf R Clubsport further forward. So I've had a little bit of reflections on this following a previous video last week on the Golf R Clubsport. Yeah, just to let you know, it was just from this article just in the magazine. It's published by Autocar, and yeah, just essentially talking about the Golf R Clubsport. Now, even today, as I film this in sort of early January, it's you know what, I still haven't seen like any information sort of like on Autocar's website. I've, you know, if I've checked on Google and searched for stuff about a Golf R Clubsport, I sort of checked a lot of your comments as well, because bit of a community channel, so yeah, feel free to get involved in the comments and stuff and let me know your thoughts on the potential car. And I saw something mid last year in 2024 which sort of said Volkswagen were hoping for it to get signed off and they were looking for a lighter, yeah, Golf R essentially with the Golf R Clubsport. Now, I had a bit of a chat in my previous video around the Focus RS Heritage, which, yeah, well worth checking out. Really enjoyed that with the owner. I didn't really introduce the owner just in case you didn't know them. Runs a YouTube channel, Shmee150, Tim and his team. 2.75 million subscribers, by the way. You know, wonderful channel. And I had a little bit of a chat with him afterwards and stuff like that. And I sort of spoke to him about the Golf R Clubsport. Now, he's someone who knows everything about the automotive industry. Like, I'm never going to speak to someone more intellectual on that side of things. And certainly he knows a lot of stuff. And I sort of said to him, well, you know, listen, what, you know, I mentioned about the Golf R Clubsport, and I sort of said to him I was really confused because there's nothing else out there. And in fact, only my video that I did last week, which you guys seem to enjoy and get involved with, is like the only thing online about it. And, you know, this is in print. And I sort of said it and I was like as confused. And he just sort of said to me, and it kind of stuck and resonated with me. He said, I wonder if it was meant to go to print. And kind of what that meant is that should it have even gone on here? Because you've got to think, stuff that goes online about the Golf R Clubsport, again, if you haven't seen my previous video, the idea is to make it a little bit lighter weight, harder suspension, maybe add like a carbon fibre bonnet. You know, I've got a lot of ideas that I would love to see about it, to make it more kind of dynamic, carbon seats, things like that, to kind of strip, maybe less sound deadening or something like that, you know, more as standard or something, the Varman all wheels, all those kind of aspects, and to make the Golf R potentially the best send-off you can do before we all do eventually likely go to electric. And it's something that could come out in 2025. You never know, maybe, if it goes ahead to development. And I mean, the big part of this stuff was the fact that it says VW's head of chassis development, Florian Umbach, told Autocar, we're working on a version of the Golf R with attributes similar to those of a Golf GTI Clubsport, lighter and purer. And it's like, yeah, it's along the lines of what we've done with the GTI and the GTI Clubsport. There is more dynamic potential for both road and track driving. Now, this has just been quoted by Volkswagen, so there's no getting away from it. But should it have come out this early? Because it wasn't that recently. You know, I'm very fortunate. I've had a great relationship with Volkswagen's UK press team, and I've shared with you the Golf R Black Edition, I've shared with you the Golf R, I've shared with you plenty of cars, pretty much as soon as they're available, really, really soon, you know, before people have even collected it. Now, if you're going to find out that a Golf R Clubsport is going to be available, I don't know about you, I'd be feeling a little bit like, oh, I thought I got the top of the tree Golf R Black Edition or whatever. Now, granted, I feel that they're both technically different cars. You know, the normal Golf R is probably going to be easier to use every day. This is going to be a little bit firmer. Saying that, something that I loved and one of the cars that I really want to drive, I've never driven it, I've driven similar to it, is a Mark 7 Golf GTI Clubsport S. I know, well, Volkswagen Wizard, you might follow him as well. If you follow me, he has one and it's a great car. Again, no back seats, amazing wing back seats, manual gearbox, 310 horsepower. It was the front wheel drive lap record holder at the Nürburgring. And that was such a fantastic car. Only like 150 made in sort of like the UK, so very, very limited. I drove the GTI Clubsport 40th, which was basically the same, but it had back rear seats and slightly less power. I tried one with wing backs as well and a manual gearbox. One of the best drives I've driven from a subscriber a couple of years ago, actually. I love that car. Now, that had pretty much what I wanted to see. That in a Golf R Clubsport is what I want to see. I'm not going to lie. I think just go for it. But interestingly, that was one of, in the UK anyway, that Golf GTI Clubsport S was the only Golf that actually came with dynamic chassis controller standard. It was part of the car. You could not get a Golf GTI Clubsport S without DCC. Every other car, the Golf R, even in the Mark 8, 8.5, 7s, everything, you have to pay for it, because that's where manufacturers make their margins. They make their margins on options. The base car for me is always the best. That's the best car, like the one that I'm sitting in now, my 3-door manual Golf R. It's got everything I'd want in a Golf R. Although it doesn't have DCC, it's passive dampers, which is a bit firmer, but it doesn't bother me too much, because yeah, I quite like the firmness. I can tolerate it, basically. And also the car is quite refined anyway, so it kind of evens itself out. So the GTI Clubsport S comes with DCC, and actually it's an easy car to use every day, because at the Nürburgring, to really spin it round hard, you want that little extra compliance, which is perfect for the UK and probably for a country that you're listening in as well, unless you've got really smooth roads across Europe or America. I get a lot of comments from you all across the world, so yeah, really cool to hear from you all. So I'm interested to know what it's going to be like. So perhaps this Golf R Clubsport could come with DCC as standard. I understand it comes as standard in Germany and other, I don't know, it's all very confusing nowadays. I'm also curious about the colour. Maybe the GTI Clubsport, I'm getting confused with names. Golf R Clubsport could have a unique colour. That would be quite interesting, similar to my last video, which I really recommend people watch, by the way, because my videos tend to flow one after the other. It's not like, yeah, they all include, yeah, it's all part of the story of my channel. So yeah, subscribe and get involved, and enjoy the content. That's what I love to share, particularly on my hot hatches. The styling could also be something that's quite different and interesting, and this was like the Autocars image, and I'm sorry the image is pretty rubbish, to be fair. Again, like I said, there's nothing really online about it. Golf R to get hardcore Clubsport makeover. It will have unique parts and tuning to make it suitable for track days. And yeah, I mean I think it's a great thing to see. It seems like you guys are potentially excited about it too. The Golf R has kind of gone a different realm sort of in the Mark 8, particularly from the Mark 7 that I'm kind of sitting in now, my sort of car. It was just a bit more, I'm going to say almost business-like at some points. I mean, that's kind of why I bought this car. When I was commuting a lot into London, it just suited the refinement, sort of like the leather wheel and everything like that. Whereas now that's sort of reserved for the Audi S3 now. That's sort of more, this is my sort of perhaps maybe unfair stereotypes. And whereas the Clubsport's now turned into a bit more of a fun, more in keeping with say like a Focus RS or something like that. And yeah, like I said, I love the Clubsport S, so to have something like that would be my kind of ideal. You know, performance pack is standard. Red brake calipers look cool. But there's certainly so many things that they could do, but it's all kind of budget dependent as well. But it does sound like it's going to stick with its same EA888 petrol engine. No sort of like hybrid or, you know, electrification in the works. But going back to what I said when I spoke to Tim Shmee150 as well, should this have gone out? Because they can't undo it. Like I said, it's not like online, you can just take something off online. You know, you remove a post, you remove a video, you remove an article. This has been printed and has been sent out. Maybe I'm wrong with that, I don't know, but something is just not sitting quite right, because it's a little bit too early for someone from Volkswagen to be saying it. That said, time is running out on these kind of cars to be shared, and Volkswagen, part of the larger group with the likes of Porsche and all of that, Volkswagen Audi group, Porsche sort of rushed their new 992.2 GT3 quite soon. The iteration came out quite early because they know what's coming. Something's going to hit it soon. If you're going to do this, and if they put effort into it, which they seemingly have, they got to get it out there. So this could be, you know, possibly coming this year. It really could be coming towards the end of this year. If it doesn't come this year, I don't think it's going to come at all. And the fact that they're talking about it and sharing it this early, I think it could be about. And I don't think, you know, it should detract from if you've got a Golf R or a Golf R Black Edition, because they will be slightly different cars, depending how hardcore this will be. But that said, the Clubsport S GTI in the Mark 7, you could use every day. Yes, it's still going to have some compromises with no black seats. That's certainly a big thing, and less sound deadening. but you could potentially use it every day. So that's something to consider. But this is a community channel. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on the Golf R Clubsport. Will it come out? What would you want to see in the car? And what do you think about my kind of thoughts of that? Maybe it, you know, should it have even been released? That's kind of one thing to kind of say. It's a real interesting one. I hope it comes out. I think it'll be cool. I think it'll be a good send-off for the Golf R, because I don't know what is potentially going to come next. And yeah, and also updates on future videos on the channel. I've sort of messaged my contacts actually today at Volkswagen to see if I can get some cars in and kind of share it with you. So that should be quite exciting to kind of share, and yeah, to kind of take things from there really. And yeah, Golf R Clubsport, let's see, let's have our fingers crossed. I'll keep you posted if I find out anything. You know, I have, you know, this is from the official source. Someone's from Volkswagen has written it, and I have some fantastic subscribers and some fantastic people in like Germany as well. And in fact, someone who lives really close to where like the factory is, where this is all going to be made, was like, I haven't heard anything. So it's a bit of like a UK released thing, because Autocar, for people who don't know, is a magazine, and they've done stuff in the UK for ages on cars. They're quite old fashioned really, hence magazines, whereas we're 2025 now and everything's sort of like instant. So I'm curious about it, and I will see what I can find out. So leave it with me. But if you guys find anything out, let me know in the comments, and give me a follow on Instagram as well. I'm at SamAustin657, and stay tuned for future content to come. And even if you're interested in the Golf R Clubsport, check out the previous video I did with Tim actually, because I did there's stuff that was said in that video that did mention a little bit about the Golf R Clubsport actually. And actually, I took a lot of I took a lot of like positivity actually from what Tim said. So that's something interesting to check out. But yeah, let's see what happens. And yeah, plenty more content to come. Community channel, get involved in the comments, and we'll go from there. Cheers guys.